Now, the former Turkish Minister of the EU Affairs, Egemen Bagis, joins us now in the studio. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I want to start by asking you, do you think that this agreement has been successful?
Not really, because Turkish-EU relations is based on a history of unkept promises. And as you reported, most of the promises made to Turkey are still yet to be kept or delivered. Turkish citizens still have to apply for visas when they want to travel to any EU country. And this is an oxymoron because Turkey is a member of the customs union since 1996. When we joined, we were told that we would become a full member within 10 years the most, and we would be able to travel just like our goods can travel without any restrictions, but we can't.
Yeah.
And when this deal was made, we trusted the EU. We opened our doors to more than 4 million refugees, predominantly from Syria and also some from Iraq and from other countries. And we've been hosting them. We've been spending lots of funds on them. We have spent up to $35 billion so far. And EU had promised to send us $3 billion, euros, and then another $3 billion. But until now, we have received less than 1.5. And the bureaucratic procedure is just unbearable. And when you look at the way Turkey is treated, no country has waited as much to become a member of EU as Turkey has.
Okay.
And we went through a coup attempt in 2016 after that deal was made, and there was no solidarity from Europe.
Okay.
Only Commissioner Avramopoulos came to visit us, but the others, when there was an attack in Paris, everyone went there to support the Charlie Hebdo. But when Turkish parliament was bombed 11 times, unfortunately, the Foundation for European Democracy ignored our tragedy.
Those are important points that you raised there, but I just want to go back to the deal and the unkept promises that you mentioned specifically. So as part of the deal, the EU said that Ankara would open 2 chapters in EU accession talks, provide financing to refugees and provide Turkish citizens with visa-free travel to the Schengen area that you mentioned. Out of all these, have any promises been kept?
Some funding, as I said, around 1.5 billion has arrived, but we have spent 35 billion so far since the war started. But what is really needs to be done is to make sure that these people feel comfortable enough to go back to their homes. And for that, what we need to do is bring democracy to Syria. We need to have fair elections in Syria. And I don't see any EU effort to ensure that. Unfortunately, the bloody dictator of Syria is still in charge, and he still has the potential to bomb his own cities as he did before. And EU is not really pushing hard enough to bring human rights and democracy to Syria.
I just want to go back to
but the 2 chapters have not been opened, and the visa-free travel has not been granted to Turkish citizens. And that is our most important expectation.
And with these expectations that haven't been met, that you've mentioned, how do you see specifically the future of EU accession process for Turkey?
Well, I've always argued that EU is Turkey's dietitian. When you need to lose weight or when you need to become healthier, you go to a dietitian and follow the prescription. And that helps you get rid of your excess weight. So Turkey has been implementing the EU acquis, not to please Europeans, to ensure a better living standard for her own citizens. So we will continue to do the right things and to make sure Turkey catches up with the rest of the acquis, but we're no longer interested on getting chapters open or pleasing European decision makers. We're doing this for our own sake. But at the meantime, if your dietitian starts insulting you, you look for other dietitians. So EU should be careful not to lose Turkey, because if this attitude continues, then believe me, 10 years later, the biggest question in Europe, in Brussels, would be, who lost Turkey?
Okay. And on that note, Egemen Bagis, Turkish former Minister of EU Affairs, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you.